Okay, so once again, we're going to go over finding slope from a graph, if you're given a graph. So what I've done is I've drawn a line and I've identified 2 points that fall on this line. And so there are 2 ways. We can use the slope formula. Remember that M stands for slope, and the slope formula, it's a fraction. It's the rise over the run, and the rise is the difference between the y values of the 2 points. So we say y sub 2 minus y sub 1, and you can think of that as like the y from point 2 and the y from point 1. So you're subtracting those. And then your run is the difference between the x coordinates, so like from here to here. So I take the x from point 2 minus the x from point 1. So notice I'm starting with the same point each time and then subtracting the other value from the other point. Okay, so we can do it like that, okay? So I would have to identify the 2 points, and so this point here would be the point. Remember, to find the coordinates of a point, start at the origin. So I would go 1, 2, 3, right 3, so x goes 3, and then down 1, 2, so down y, so that's a negative 2. So there's that point. And then this point here, I do from the origin, I would have to go left 1. You always put your x first, so that's negative 1 because I went left. And then I would have to go up 1, 2, so my y went up, so up is positive, so that's up 2. So I can call either of these point 1 or point 2. It doesn't really matter. I'll say that this one is going to be my point 1. And this one is going to be my point 2. And so then I plug those into the formula and I find the slope. So the slope would be the y from point 2 minus the y from point 1, which in this case is a negative 2, so be careful, okay? There's the y from point number 1, there it is, over the x from point 2, that's a negative 1, minus the x from point 1, that's just a 3. And so now we have that, I call them money problems. So the first thing that we have to do, because we're subtracting a negative, we have to change that to a plus. So this is 2 plus 2, which is 4. And then down here, this is no positive. So you don't have anything in your wallet. Your kid asked you for $1 for lunch and then $3 for something else. And you don't have any money in your wallet, so you're short $4. Okay, and so now we can simplify. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and a positive, this is a positive, divided by a negative is a negative. So the slope of this line, we say, is negative 1. Okay, now I can also find the slope of this line by just traveling from one point to the other point. So if I want to go from, I usually try to go from my lowest point to my highest point, but it doesn't matter. I can go either way. But remember, I can only stay on the main highways. These blue lines are the main highways. I can't go across. Like this person, if I traveled on this road right here, that means I cut across all these people's yards. I'm staying in the block, okay? So I'm going on the streets. So if I want to get from here to here, I like to do my rise first because rise comes on top. So I would have to go up, okay, up how many blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to go up 4 blocks, right? And then once I got to that corner, then I would have to take a left, and so then I would have to go left, how many blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to go left 4 blocks, and that's a negative 4. So my rise is a positive 4. Oh, does that look familiar? There it is right there, okay. And my run is a negative 4. Oh, look, there it is right there. Looks very familiar. And so then if I were to find the slope just using the rise over the run from my picture, then my rise was 4, my run was negative 4, and that's still a negative 1. So either way, you can find your slope from a graph.